welcome to another episode of Phonics in Action. In this session today, we're looking at assessment as a way to guide our teaching and to monitor whether we're making a difference. Now, why would a busy teacher do assessments? Well, fact one, you're doing it because you think some of your students have fallen behind and you want to check their skills. And fact two, you want to check if your intuitions are correct about their reading, but you want to be scientific about it and gather some data. Now, does this course provide assessment measures? Yes, absolutely, in the resource book. And obviously there are many other measures available from online sources that you can download or purchase. But in the resource book for this program, we use a small number of tried and true measures to assess the students' reading status, their basic phonics skills, and their alphabet knowledge and their phonemic awareness. And these data normally will give you enough information to plan your teaching of phonics and measure progress. So how should I go about the assessment? Well, step one, try to put the student at ease. They may be scared stiff. Try to make it seem a normal part of the lesson. Say you're just checking their reading. Now, step two, use a standardized or other reliable tests of reading achievement to assess present reading level. Now, if you don't have access to a published test of reading achievement and you don't have any money to buy anything, well, try using the Chanel word reading test to gain an approximate idea of reading level. It is on the internet, it's been around for many years, but it does give an approximate indication. It gives you a baseline, and that's important. Is the student making typical progress or are they behind? That's what it tells you. And in the resource book, there's a link to that online test. Now, step three, you have to check the student's phonics decoding skills. Now, the phonics check in your resource book is a check we have used many times, and it does give helpful information. It will indicate what decoding skills the student has and needs to have. Like in this phonics check, there are 50 made-up words. It uses made-up words because to read the words, the student has to decode them. They can't guess from memory. And the check probes many of the phonics skills that we teach in this program. Like section 1 has got words with a 3-letter consonant, vowel, consonant, CVC pattern. Now, if the student can read these, they should be able to read real CVC words like sat, dog, web, and sip. Now, section 2, it's got words that check the split digraph rule. Now, if the student can read these, they should be able to read real words that have a split vowel digraph like cake and bone. Now, section 3 of the check has got words that check consonant digraphs. Now, if the student can read these, they should be able to read real words with digraphs like chick and shop, them and fish. Now, section 4, it's got words that start with consonant clusters and have also vowel sounds that are like R-affected vowels or one-sound vowel digraphs. Now, if the students can read these ones, they should be able to read real words that have these patterns like sleep, cloak, straw, start, cloy. And section 5, it's got 2-syllable words and it's got Latin-based words. Now, if the student can do these, they should be able to read real words like trombone, transportable, construction. So that's the phonics check. Now, the next step, step 4, we're going to look at pre-reading skills. We'll do the alphabet check first. Now, keep that simple. Initially, just check the 26 lowercase sounds. the check might go like this. Hello, thanks for helping me with this today. Now, what I'd like you to do is say the sound of each letter and make a note of any tricky sounds, such as when they read the letter sound G as J instead of G. Yeah, and be sure not to let the student see you scoring because it might make them even more anxious. Now, if the student does find some sounds tricky, here is a quick suggestion to revise those tricky sounds. This chart has got some of the common tricky sounds, and the picture is a cue to help them remember the sounds. Like the sound of Y, there's a picture of a yak, which starts with ya. The sound of the V, it's a V, and so there's a picture of a vase. And the sound of the L, there's a picture of a leaf, leaf. And the H sound, H, there's a picture of a house. And the Q sound, the Qu, there's a picture of a queen. And the W sound, the W, there's a picture of a spider web, so there's a web. And the U sound, the A, there's a picture of an umbrella, umbrella. Right, now the final step is to check phonemic awareness. And first off, this is a listening check. The student has to listen to the word and separate in their mind the phonemes in the word. So you read the questions aloud to them, and like for blending, you say the word slowly, and then they tell you what the word is. For example, you say nice, and they tell you that it says nice. Now for the segmentation, you say the word normally, and their job is to tell you the sounds in the word. For example, you say no, what are the two sounds in no? And the answer is N-O. Now, if they find these tasks tricky, then your resource book has some drawings you can use to teach awareness. For example, you say the sound like D, O, G, and the student has to point to the drawing of D, O, G, which is dog. Now, let's have a look at this in action, and we'll look at a case study. You'll want to use the assessments to help plan a program for a student that has got reading difficulties. Now, this case study explains what the teacher might do. This student was 7.5 years old and was behind in reading. For the Chanel reading test, the online test, he could only read one word. This meant that he was reading below the 6-year-old level. And on the phonics check, he couldn't read any of the words. He scored 0. And on the alphabet check, that showed that he knew 20 of the 26 letter sounds. The sounds he didn't know were the y, v, a, h, w, and qu. He confused the letter sounds with the letter names. For example, the letter Y, instead of saying y, he said w, because it's got the Y is w. He thinks it's w, but it's y. And the phonemic awareness check, it was good. He could blend and segment most of the test words. His score for blending was 7 out of 7, and for segmentation was 6 out of 7. This meant that his pre-reading skills of alphabet knowledge and phonemic awareness were mostly in place, but with a little revision needed. So my teaching plan, based on these data, was to start at the beginning and review the whole 26 letter sounds. Like in some ways, from a tutoring point of view, this was perfect for me. It's a lot easier if you can start the student from the beginning before they've learned unhelpful strategies like guessing. It's like a new page. You can build from there. In the first lesson, we covered the letter sounds s, at, t, p. The next lesson was n, m, d. And we made words with the s, at, t, p, and the n, m, d letter sounds. Words like at, sat, pat, sad, mad, and so on. So each lesson had a small number of high-frequency tricky words to practice, Just these ones: no, to, go, the, I, and into. And we kept practicing those 6 tricky words. And over the next several lessons, we finished the whole 26 letter sounds. Early on in the tutoring, I was able to acquire a set of decodable books and match those books to the letter sounds that was taught in the lessons. And we kept moving forward slowly, reading the books, moving on to new things like consonant clusters, consonant digraphs, split digraphs, one sound vowel digraphs. And in the middle of the year, he'd improved to a 6-year-old level. So he kept revising the 26 letter sounds until he could say all 26 letter sounds on the chart in 11 seconds and the 6 tricky words in 3 seconds. We practiced a list of 25 high frequency words, for example, and, dad, mum, big, up, but. And his best speed was 20 seconds. And he kept reading the decodable books. So we reached the end of the year and school broke up for summer. And then we waited, and then after the summer break, I checked his reading again, and he'd improved to a 7-year level. Like, we continued with the lessons. So we continued with the lessons doing advanced phonics things like multisyllable words, chameleon words, compound words, and silent letter words. After several more months of lessons, he was at an 8-year-old level. It was a remarkable improvement. The charts and the practice had paid off. After 1 year and 40 weekly lessons, he had nearly caught up to his chronological age. The next step was Latin-based words and root words like with prefixes and suffixes. Like, he's moving to that higher layer of the story of English. So to sum up, in this session, we gave a quick overview of how to assess and take action. The case study lesson started with assessment. All I did was follow the sequence for phonics in action. And for the first time, he began to read books, something he had not done before. It shows that success is possible, even after years of failure. Soon I expect he'll be reading Harry Potter. The takeaway message is that as a teacher, if you're positive and you persevere, you can make a difference.